So your basis is saying that culturally, people don't have the same advantages, right?
I'm saying that
That's not what he said. Oh no.
not every culture sort of initiates.
He's trying to boil it down now. He's like, okay, what is the 85 IQ version of what I've been saying?
It's the same action within groups.
So in part, you're saying that you're part of each culture. You know what goes on in each culture to say these things.
No. What he's saying is he can read data.
No, I'm saying that I can analyze the activities of a particular group with reference to their actual behavior.
So if you go into my culture,
Wow. So degenerate femininity actually trying to mock Ben Shapiro. That's disgusting to see. They're very incompetent. And this woman right here is the same woman that basically, I think, accused Fresh and Fit or something. After Fresh and Fit has saved the lives of dozens of men and made them richer, more desirable to women. The list goes on of the amount of good that Fresh and Fit has done. This woman is truly shallow and pathetic, given she's not helped anyone. She hasn't created any virtue. And so you can really see her reprehensible nature on display when she tries to attack and basically slander men who actually do bring competence. This is a problem because the left-wing identitarian ideology preys on feminine psyches like this, telling them the men who, and they often are almost always men who embody tremendous competence and value to society, those guys are oppressors rather than creating value and helping people. They cause these women to act psychopathically and invert reality. So this woman who's created no value believes that she's better in every single way, even though she's worse in every single way. She's less intellectually capable. She's created less value. She's more psychopathic. She's unable to engage with objective arguments. She doesn't believe in individuality, reason, rationality, and logic. She hates masculinity. So it's truly pathetic to see creatures like this invert reality.
A particular group with reference to their actual behavior.
So if you go into my culture, we're told that we can achieve anything.
It's so psychopathic, and her doing that is going to make so many more young men listen to what Ben Shapiro has to say. Because we're tired of pathetic, virtueless, low IQ women acting as if they're better than others for no reason.
Through hard work.
Actually, there is a reason, and the reason is that they are virtuous and they are meritless, and so they have to make up for that in the counterfeit merit system, which is a left-wing ideology.
We have to work 10 times harder, but you're not part of our culture, so you're explaining something that doesn't have to do with
Oh,
you.
this guy's had to work 10 times harder than Ben Shapiro, who went to Harvard Law and is one of the most successful, maybe the most successful political commentator of all time.
But in turn, you're saying that that culture, unfortunately, does not value the same thing that the next culture does.
So revealed preference tends to be a better way of doing social science than subjective perception. So
Bro, every word he just said is beyond the intellectual horizon of everyone in the room. Ben, thank you. Thank you for doing that. Oh, that was great. Listen to that again.
It does.
So revealed preference tends to be a better way of doing social science than subjective perception. So revealed preference is how people act in the world. So for example, if you have one group of people who say, we really, really value our kids studying, and then their kids don't study at all, that would be a revealed preference.
Value nepotism versus actual studying hard. What is that called then?
That's basically nobody. So 79% of millionaires did not inherit their wealth, and 89% of billionaires did not inherit their wealth.
To see the evidence of that, given the fact the vast majority of wealth in this country is not created nepotism or through inherited wealth.
But Donald Trump was given nepotism, was he not?
I mean, he's one example among a bajillion people who are very, very wealthy in this country. I'm very wealthy now. I certainly wasn't born very wealthy.
There it is, boom.
Then you can't speak on Donald Trump's experience, can you not?
Happens.
If Donald Trump was not self-made and Ben Shapiro was self-made, the idea that Ben Shapiro cannot comment on Donald Trump's stature is invalid because using objective reality and the representations thereof, such as statistical analysis, science, objective inquiry, etc., you absolutely can comment on literally anything. The notion that you cannot comment on certain topics based on your identity, such as race and gender, is definitionally sexist and definitionally racist, but is the central position of the left, which is you can't comment on certain topics if you have the wrong identity. This is a perverse, destitute, horrible ideology.
Sorry, you've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Oh, this is the same psychopathic female personality that tried to mock Ben Shapiro for speaking objective reality.
Yeah, like a jackrabbit. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
Hi.
Degenerate feminine psychopathology. She's going to act as if she's his friend now.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So,
One person here is a psychopath, the other person isn't.
I kind of want to shift the conversation about DEI a little bit away
She's wearing a dog tag.
from culture, because I don't know if that's necessarily like a helpful conversation to have.
This person is not qualified to say what is helpful and what is not helpful. As a matter of fact, what is labeled helpful by her is the inverted existence of helpful.
And I really want to talk more about representation. So 1 in 5 Americans currently is Hispanic. This country, like it or not, is not a homogenous country. We are very
Representation. I want representation of merit, logic, and objective reality, not skin color, because I'm not racist like leftists are.
diverse country. Do you not think that our legislators should be representative of the overall population?
I don't see a
We
way.
want our legislators to be representative of competence. Hello? Oh my! It's so insane. But the left can't distinguish between better and worse cultures, so they can't say that certain cultures should try to embody competence a bit more by having fathers and working harder, etc.
That you can have a quote-unquote representative legislature with 435 members of Congress in a country of 340 million people, because you can divvy that up however you want. It's not by race. You could do it by sex. You could do it by gender. You could do it by sexual orientation.
So he's pointing out the fact that there's an infinite number of ways of identifying yourself, which is another intellectual flaw of the leftist ideology.
Exactly do you decide what is quote-unquote the representative group? And
It's
also,
called intersectionalism, by the way.
I don't believe that individuals ought to be represented based on group identity. So, for example, I'm Jewish. I don't actually overrepresented in Congress. I don't think that we ought to decide exactly how many people in Congress are Jewish based on the Jewish population of the country. I think that's actually a pretty silly way to do representation.
Well, we don't have to do it systematically, but fundamentally, there is an issue with the fact that we are not fully represented. Like, the entire population is not.
If you're not fully represented by competence, then you have the wrong idea of how you should be represented.
represented.
I mean,
We have
that's not
never
true,
had a
though.
black female president. I still have to pay.
Why should we? We should have a competent president. We shouldn't obsess. Why? It would be crazy if you said we should have a president that is white and male. That would make no sense. We should have a president that is good at leading and competent, preferably a background in some high performance endeavor like the military or business or law or making policy. But to the left, it's like, no, I want someone who has the right skin color. This is the reason why when you ask leftists, what is your favorite Kamala Harris policy, they can't name anything.
taxes.
We've never had
Besides their racism, of course.
The whole
president, who
concept is
cares?
no taxation without. Well, we have had a white male president. We've had like
Well,
45.
I mean,
What you're seeing here is the obsession with identity, which makes the leftist position perverse and untenable.
whether Jews count as white or not has been sort of an object of debate for
You do.
quite a while. We do. Okay.
You do.
So, I mean, it depends according to whom, and that's a pretty recent development. Okay, so
Basically, everyone. It's a religion.
Judaism.
Do
is
you
also
not
ethnicity.
agree that you were a white man?
I mean, I think that it depends on the.
So, yeah, that's debated, but it's neither here nor there. This is an obsession on identity that's so low IQ.
Context in which we're discussing it.
So
Meaning
what
that-
are you, Ben? Are you not a white guy?
I mean,
It's so racist. How are we in the 24? Dude, we're in the year 2024, and the leftist is like, her main concern is what is your race? Determine your race for me right now. I mean, she's wearing a dog tag, so maybe, she's trying to emulate that energy of, show me your race right now. Tell me what your race is. Like, but dude, what is going on? This is so racist. Why do you care? Why don't you care about his competence? His intrinsic logic to the ideas? Merit. It's because those things reference objective reality rather than the ideology, the destitute, broken ideology of the left.
so
Basically, everyone. It's a religion.
Judaism.
Do
is
you
also
not
ethnicity.
agree that you were a white man?
I mean, I think that it depends on the context in which we're discussing it.
So
Meaning
what
that-
are you, Ben? Are you not a white guy?
I mean, I'm a man
Are
of
you-
Jewish ethnicity, which is sometimes grouped with white and sometimes not. I mean, that's the more accurate way to put it. But when
What
we're
else would
talking
you be
about
grouped with?
Jews, who are which is an
But it's-
ethnicity, I mean,
So
yeah.
you're not white at all.
I mean,
This
again,
is so disgusting. This is so disgusting and perverse, but I'm glad that the left is revealing that they're obsessed with race. They're so racist.
and it depends
Why aren't we talking about ideas? This is racism.
who's doing the grouping and how. I've seen Jews grouped with white and Jews grouped with not white. Are we just pretending that doesn't exist? That's a reality. However,
So
as
low
far as your
it's so low IQ.
generalized point, which is that we are
The
supposed
left is obsessed with race.
to identify people by group identity. If we don't have a black female president, somehow black females have not been represented. So Barack Obama was in no way representative of black females because he's not a female.
No,
He's
he
black.
was. He was representative,
So
but
he was
that's
half
the point.
representative. How do you do the math on this, and why?
You shouldn't do the math on it completely statistically, but the
Right,
fact
because that represents objective reality. It's oppression. Math is suppression.
is,
Well, really what it is objective inquiry reveals the leftist position as incoherent. That's the reason why they're afraid of it.
Do the math
is
on it at all? You should
clearly
treat people as individuals.
underrepresented.
You should treat people as individuals.
well, if you don't even want Kamala Harris to
He's
attend-
explaining to this girl why you shouldn't be racist. This is the current position of the left.
attempt to create DEI initiatives in office, then there isn't even going to be a conversation about it.
I mean, I don't think there ought to be a conversation about why we ought to be represented by race or by sex. I think that we are each individual
And
people
look,
with individual.
it's as if he's speaking a foreign language to her right there when he's saying we shouldn't care about people's skin color. It's so disgusting.
Ought to be represented
The left ruins the minds of its constituents.
by race or by sex. I think that we are each individual people with individual ideas, and if that person
Of course, we know that this girl is an especially destroyed specimen given her online antics recently of disparaging impressive men who do good for society, especially helping young men. So we know she despises logic, reason, as she tried to mock Ben Shapiro behind his back, and she can't stand objective reality or masculinity given her antics.
represents my ideas, I don't care what sex, race, or sexual orientation they are.
I mean, to an extent, yes.
No,
But there
entirely.
is an issue with the lack of empathy in office. We need to be able to empathize and legislate for the
You empathize based on objective reality, not skin color. Again, the obsession with race is disgusting.
people that are living in this country.
I was not
Do you
aware.
not believe that?
I was not aware that empathy is relegated to particular race solidarity.
No, but I mean, it's easier to be empathetic towards people whose experiences you can
No,
fundamentally.
it's not. And everyone who is a good force for change would disagree with you. Martin Luther King would disagree with you. Jesus would disagree with you. Every person who talks about empathy would disagree with you.
Mentally understand based on your identity. Like, do you not believe that people have an inherent bias?
So first of all, I'm
based
not
on
sure.
identity?
I mean, we can start with the empathy itself. I'm not sure that empathy is always the best basis for actual public policy, because when you have group solidarity and empathy based on group solidarity, you're going to attempt to actually benefit the group with whom you have solidarity. So that actually cuts against
But
generalized
that's like a
public
fundamental
policy.
thing that just exists, which is why we need representation in government. Okay, cute. Thank you.
Whoa. I mean, yeah, she is psychopathic. So actually gets destroyed and owned here.
Okay, cute. Thank you.
What she just did is the furthest thing from cute. Racism is not cute. That girl is a racist, incompetent, degenerate female.